Good evening everybody, my name is Mists and we are looking at Vermintide. Now I've put a few hours into this game, I think somewhere around the region of 6 or 8 hours I believe it was, a few more now, probably 10. Anyway, that's not important. What we are here today to discuss is fusing. Now there isn't any sort of official tutorial on this. If you go through the menus, you will just come up to the fusing. After a couple of runs, I discovered it. Or, well, I found it in the menus first, but couldn't really do anything with it. It gave me a brief sort of mention after I'd ran a couple of levels. And I'm talking bollocks. Hello everybody, what's going on? My name is Mists, and this is Vermintide. Now, I have put a few hours into this game so far, somewhere between the region of 6 to 8 hours, I would say. Level 9, I have only played the mage so far, but today we are going to take a quick look at fusing. So if you press F to bring up the fusing menu, there isn't any conclusive information to sort of present how this works. So this is sort of what I've gleaned from the forums and what seems to be general consensus as to how this works, known on how the universe works in general in other games and so on. So if we take a base item to fuse, so as you can see I've won a shitload of Ember Cage staffs. Let's drop one of those in and it's saying we're going to end up with a green staff. Now we must have 5 items to fuse to create the final product. Now if we keep adding Ember Cage staffs, we see that we will end up with a green Ember Cage staff at the end. However, if we were to drop, say, the Axi staff in the mix, it goes to a question mark. Now, depending on what combos you put in here will depend on what you get. It seems to be that throwing that Akashi into the mix changes it so that there is a chance that it will either be the green Ember Cage or the green Akashi. Now, there's 5 items and each one is dictated as a 20%. So in this case, 20, 40, 60, 80% chance of a green Ember Cage, 20% chance of a green Akashi. That's what this question mark is saying to us, or at least that is what the general consensus and feel from what people have crafted seems to be. So if we were to say remove this and drop into the mix an Azrai longbow, we get the question mark again, and we would have a 80% chance of the Ember Cage staff, or a 20% chance of the longbow. I would really like the Akashi staff, the Axi staff, but I only have one other of them, and it's already a green, so I'm going to throw it into the mix, and chances dictate that I get a Ember Cage. So let's fuse these together. And we have a Scorching Ember Cage. There is a 3 to 8% chance to recover 10 health. And in order to unlock that ability, we take the item to the forge and upgrade using plentiful, common or rare. So we find ourselves with a Scorching Ember Cage. We are currently using the temperamental Axi staff. Looking at the Ember Cage, the damage is gash compared to what we already had. However, it's much faster casting, doesn't have as good a knockback, but it has a bit more range. The charge attack, though, does more damage. That's our big AoE. It will cast it a bit faster. It won't really knock them back, but I mean, most times it seems to kill them anyway, unless it's a Rat Ogre, so that's not a problem. And it allows us to actually throw that quite a bit further, which is good, because the range on that attack is not that great. You've really got to sort of angle it to get the distance, so that is really helpful. I'll probably be sticking with the Axi, just simply because I don't know. The chance for it to split into 2 projectiles, only a 7%, but from my experience it seems to happen fairly frequently. You know when it happens because it has like this eagle sound, and it seems to proc quite fairly often, or that appears to be how the roll chances have gone for me. So this is fusing. So just one more thing to cover before we end. You saw what happened when we add white items, grey items, we end up with greens. If we add a 5 set of green items, we make blues. If you put 5 blues, you get purples. Is there anything beyond purple? I do not know. That would be something to find out. The collector's edition does give you a few purple items to begin. There isn't any sort of gold items, so whether or not those are in the game or are coming later, I cannot say. This is basically all on fusing for now. Again, none of this is crystal clear, so I'll leave you to read the forums, read additional information on your chances of success or getting the item that you want, and I shall see you in the future, certainly with more Vermintide, I hope. I mean, I do want to post up a run, maybe an epic fail. Anyway, my name has been Mists, and I shall see you all in another video. Goodbye.